Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, mate. How are we doing?
We are very good. Very hot. Reminds me very much of when we first started recording the podcast all those months ago.
Yeah, it is toasty, isn't it?
Are you wearing any pants?
I'm actually wearing... Right,
You
am I
are.
going to do this? Right, I'm wearing trousers, Bill.
Trousers?
I'm wearing
Why are you
trousers. You know why? Because you made me drive home from work rapid as possible. I killed 3 people on the way here.
Here we go.
Just
Make it
because
sound
I
like a
have to make the
dictator again.
timings. I have to do the whole 5 minutes before 5 minutes. Well, technically I was 5 minutes after what I was supposed to originally see you. But yeah, it is hot, mate. It is a sticky situation.
Very sticky. Definitely reminds me of when we used to not wear pants back in the early episodes. People are long-term listeners. They'll remember those conversations that we used to start the episodes with.
Well, the thing is, like, as I kind of mentioned before we pressed the record button, I'm currently at my mum's house, and to record in just my pants would feel a bit out of order in her household.
Do you know the way you're sitting right now? It just reminds me of like a horror film that like you'll be sitting there talking to someone.
Oh,
behind
don't say
you,
that, because I thought this earlier.
Yeah, it looks like a typical horror film.
Is it the door?
What's the big
Paranormal
archway as
Activity
well?
door?
Yeah, the door as well. Yeah, it's just everything. The whole,
The thing is, right, I'm
even the
gonna show
quality
you
of, even the lighting in there. You look like you're in a horror film, Tom.
It's even worse if I turn the other way, because now I've got the whole Scream aspect of having the conservatory doors.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You're definitely going to see a face in that, aren't you?
That's what I mean.
In fact, we've got a visitor. We've got a cat.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
We've actually got a cat walking right now. This is live. Look, we've actually got a cat.
Is it yours?
See, that's terrifying.
So I think the real question is, we've said it's amazing. We said everyone should be having it. Do we actually have some? So I take it on the daily. I'm actually going to take some now live on air because I haven't taken some today. So you're going to be a YouTube snippet. So the one I've got is basically, I buy the cheapest one, and I'll come onto that why later on. There's a fucking spider in my fucking... Oh, for fuck's sake. But I basically got...
You need cats.
I know, yeah. It's a beast. It's one of those flying ones. You know, the ones with like wings and shit.
Oh, no. Oh,
Huge.
no. Can't be dealing with that, Bill.
Stay
It ain't been getting into your creatine, has it?
I hope not.
Because if it has, you're banning trouble.
Genuinely, this is massive, mate. I mean, I don't want to move my stuff because I'll probably not... Anyway, let's get back into this because people... no one can see it, so let's watch it on YouTube, of course. But I've got this stuff here, which is bulk creatine monohydrate powder. Nice and cheap. I think I paid like... It wasn't much. It was less than a tenner for this, for 500 grams. And it's just a bog standard. I always buy the cheapest one, creatine monohydrate. Go on Amazon. And 5 grams is what I take. So it's about 1.5 scoops. One scoop's about... Well, yeah, just roughly about that. Mounted scoop. So what I'm going to do now is get a nice little scoop for you guys. So there you go. Here's my little scoop, my little scoop of Charlie.
That is how tiny it is as well. It is literally like a little thimble, isn't it? Which is what is one of the good things about creatine, is that it's such a small little amount. God, look at that go. Don't you eat the spoon as well? I always eat the spoon.
Simple as
Nice
that, guys. I mean, well, yeah, you could, because people like to mix it in their drinks, or they get juicy flavoured ones. I just fucking dry scoop it.
Let's pull back here. Is that fucking hell? He's going for more. Is that a dry scoop though? Because you're technically having water with it. I always assumed that a dry scoop was literally just like dry, no water.
I'll be honest with you. How could you? I don't know how you would swallow that though. If you just dry scooped, you'd have to like.
Right. Let's not pretend that you did not post a video earlier of you sticking a Roundtree's fruit pastel lolly down your gob. Okay. I didn't want to bring it up, Bill, but I feel like I have to now.
Yeah, people follow me on Instagram. They would have seen the deep throat an ice lolly. Yeah. Because of Tom's request. There's me wanting to do a nice harmless Q&A to see what people want to know. And he goes, how far can you get, what is it, what colour can you get down to on a traffic light lolly or something like that, wasn't it?
Well, you know, you went down to the hilt, really.
I went all the way.
You did. I thought he was going to take your fingernails off as well. There are a couple of little tiny extra things in regards to like the misconceptions. One of them being the big one. I don't want to say anything, but male baldness. Have you ever heard that creatine causes baldness? It creates hair loss.
Is that why you stopped taking it, Tom?
It's because I stopped taking it that it started happening. But yeah, do you know what? I'm just going to rattle these off. It's going to be boring because I'm literally reading from a sheet. But hopefully it's going to clear up any kind of misconceptions you may have of it. So in regards to this review, this is 2021. So this is, as of today, if you're listening to this podcast, it's been recorded in the year 2021. So this is the most recent evidence we have. Here we go. Creatine supplementation does not always lead to water retention. Keyword being not always. So it's not, it doesn't lead to it. It's just that it doesn't always lead to it, as we kind of said earlier on. Creatine is not an anabolic steroid. So, if your mum finds your creatine under your bed, just tell her, Mum, it's all right. I listened to this podcast. It's safe as houses. I'm not injecting it into my bumhole. Right. Creatine supplementation, when ingested at recommended dosages, does not result in kidney damage and or renal dysfunction in healthy individuals. But once again, if you are worried, please consult with your doctor. The majority of available evidence does not support a link between creatine supplementation and hair loss/baldness. Bill, don't say anything. Creatine supplementation does not cause dehydration or muscle cramping. So that seems quite solid then to their stand on that it just simply doesn't create it. Creatine supplementation appears to be generally safe and potentially beneficial for children and adolescents. Creatine supplementation does not increase fat mass, which, doesn't kind of make sense anyway. As we kind of mentioned earlier as well, smaller daily dosages of creatine supplementation, 3 to 5 grams, or 0.1 gram per kilo of body mass are effective. So there you go. If you want to be super anal and, calculate it to your body weight, there you go. 0.1 gram per kg of body weight. Creatine supplementation and resistance training produces the vast majority of musculoskeletal and performance benefits in older adults. Creatine supplementation alone can provide some muscle and performance benefits for older adults. So once again, different age populations as well. For older adults who tend to be more kind of vulnerable, especially in regards to musculoskeletal issues and injuries, creatine might make you more resilient, especially if you are training as well. Creatine supplementation can be beneficial for a variety of athletic and sporting activities. So as I said, it's not just strength training. That's the thing. With creatine, the first thing I tend to think of is heavy reps. But what about things like CrossFit, etc., where you might have to do something with quite a quick burst of speed? Now, don't get me wrong, it might take you 5 minutes after to kind of replenish your creatine stores, but still super useful. Creatine supplementation provides a variety of benefits for females across their lifespan. That's quite interesting as well. We can obviously do more details when you do your Train Primal infographic as well, Bill, I suppose. Other forms of creatine are not superior to creatine monohydrate. So keep it simple. And that's pretty much the ISSN's current stand on the misconceptions and what the scientific evidence actually shows. So in summary, creatine is fucking awesome for a whole wide range of reasons. It's quite affordable. You tend to find it in any supplementation shop on the planet, whether it be Holland & Barrett, MyProtein, whatever. There's no reason not to take it. You don't have to take it, but you should probably take it.
Well, that makes it easy for them, doesn't it?